What's going on YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to Texas Street Stories. I appreciate all the supporters coming through. Appreciate that. Later on I'll make a quick video about where I want this channel to go to, and hopefully it grows to where I want it to go. But this is episode 2 out of series 1. It's basically 90s in Dallas, Texas. Like my previous episode was where I'm from, the vicinity, the area, I told you a few streets for the people that are in Dallas that ever watched this. They know, they're familiar. They can kind of get the idea of what the area I'm talking about. So this episode is going to be titled "My Surroundings." My surroundings. The surroundings take a big part in a lot of our lives. That's what kind of molds us, to what we become later down the road. The options that we see and the options that we choose, will affect down the road, So I think it's very important to, touch around on my surroundings at the time growing up, and the options that were there and what I seen. Everything that I speak on this channel is going to be firsthand experience. If I'd say it's spoken from secondhand, and it's from the mouth of the horse, so it's not like, oh, he said, she said. No, if it's from, I said, if it's one of my friends, most likely it's him telling me what went through, through my stories, but everything most likely here is going to be firsthand experience. Everything's based on my life, so my surroundings, were basically, waking up, and I could see 100+ dudes out there waiting for work, just lined up down the road, down Dennis. Not only that, but you had the prostitutes, you had the dudes looking for the prostitutes, then you had the pimps, looking out for their gals. So that was the typical that was just the norm, So growing up, like I said from the previous video, gangs it was prominent around here. You had BNS 13, then you had the offsets that were split off from there. And, one of mine was North Haven Park. So this is where I'm getting to my, the surroundings and the options. So, growing up, I gravitated to the gang. I got jumped into North Haven Park by the older homeboy. Two of them, joined the gang, but it wasn't like, sometimes it'd be like 8-10 of us, and we couldn't even gather up to get a dime sack to smoke. We would have to go, I go beg my brother basically, and at 13, 14, I guess it was cool, he'd seen us as little kids, and he'd be like, all right, man, we gotta go throw my trash away or go do something, here goes a dub sack. Give me a quarter sack, man. But I got kind of tired of doing that. Man? It's like, it's like hanging out with all these dudes. There wasn't really no outcome. Besides getting chased by the cops. And there wasn't no benefits in being in the gang. For me, I was seeing everything else. Like I said, I was seeing prostitutes. I was seeing pimps. I was seeing dope boys, I was seeing, and people out there trying to make their money, if they were day laborers, but at the end of it, they were all trying to make money, from the day laborer to the pimp, to the D-boy, to the prostitute. That's what I was waking up to, the gang was just like, man, I'm just kicking it with the boys, getting chased by the cops. Homeboys spraying the paint, we go jump some dude, or they jump one of us, there was really no benefit to the outcome. There was, at the end of the day, we were still empty pockets, nowhere to go, being outside, because being 13, 14, our moms were gonna let no gang of motherfuckers hang inside the house. So, that kind of wore it out real thin, Plus, I was already access to my big bro, so I kind of pushed the gang life aside and gravitated to this side over here. You know, it was a lot easier for me to gravitate because I wanted more in life. You know, I just didn't want to be hanging around. You know, I wanted pocket. You know, my parents couldn't buy me the good clothes that I wanted. They couldn't buy me the J's. They couldn't buy me the Guess jeans. They couldn't buy me the Jabot jeans. You know, they couldn't buy me the polo shirts. You know, they couldn't do none of this. You know, and that's what was rocking in the '90s. You know, everybody wanted the Air Maxes when they first came out in '95, '96. You know, we wanted that. You know. I see people that were a little bit older than me getting them, so I was like, man, I can get it too. So it was kind of easy for me to, you know, kind of separate from the gangs, you know, but at the same time, you know, to still be able to be in my neighborhood and do what I wanted to do, I still got to keep the big homies, you know, when a big homie, hey, man, you know, $5-10 for, don't worry about it here, man, take it, you know, just to keep the homies on the good terms, you know, but I'm separate now. You know, I'm independent now. You know, I'm doing my own thing now. You know, I'm nickel and diamond. You know, selling nickels, selling dimes, selling quarter sacks. You know, that's my surrounding. You know, so my options were limited. You know, at that time, we was gang banging, selling dope, become a dope fiend. But later on, you know, the gangbangers started becoming dope fiends, you know, down the road, you know, so it was like, good thing I left that alone, you know, good thing I left it alone, you know, and I gravitated to the money-making side, you know. The money-making side was, you know, it was good, you know, 14, 15, you know, I'm selling weed, you know, and I gravitated to selling crack, 15, 16, you know. But all this, I would tell like independent stories, you know, but this is just my surroundings, you know, this is what I chose and what I seen. And, you know, on the next episodes, it's going to be stories, you know, probably my next story is going to probably be my first lick, you know, because sometimes when you choose that life, you know, you re-up money and you ain't got all the money to re-up again, you know? And, you know, you owe Big Bro so much that he ain't gonna front you no more. You know, so now you gotta come up with cash. And, you know, you don't wasted most of your re-up money on a pair of J's or some outfits, you know, just to look fly. You know, being 13, 14, you know? But that's just the way it is, you know, that was just my surroundings, you know, that was my surrounding introduced to the streets of Dallas, Texas. You know, I gravitated to the hustling side. I tried the gangbanging side for a little bit, wasn't for me. You know, I gravitated to the hustling side, you know, with the pimps and the hustlers and the hoes, you know. It's a different ball game than the gangbanging, you know, but we're intertwined. But these are my surroundings, you know, I'll be more specific on next episodes and, you know, on specific things. You know, it's going to be a story for story. You know, it's not going to be all over the place. And I apologize if I'm all over the place sometimes. But sometimes when you have, you know, I guess your mind's thinking faster than what you can say. And sometimes you just come off wrong. You know what I mean? I apologize. But I'm going to be working on that. You know, these are my surroundings, you know, in these Dallas, Texas streets, you know. And on my next episode, you know, it'll be more specific story type. You know, events, what happened, you know, who, where, and what, where, you know, the outcome of it, you know, what I learned from it, you know. So stay tuned, you know, and I appreciate everybody, you know, stay tuned, you know, this channel is going to be a lot more than myself. Hopefully one day, I can be out there to touch other youth, you know. So like I said, you know, I'm going to end this with a positive message, like always, you know, just be yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be nobody that you not really are, because you're going to end up in a situation that you wish you were not in. And like I said, man, stay free and count your blessings, man.